are privileged to have Eugenia Chinsman, who is the founder and owner of Man's Travel. Second, we've got more people coming in, which is a great thing. Hello, everybody. So Eugenia was born in South Africa. Eugenia, maybe you should do this.
No, I was born in South Africa. I was born in Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, all right. She received her early education in Freetown, Sierra Leone. She holds a degree in medical administration with distinction from Putney College, London, and obtained a degree in international affairs at New York University. She holds a CTC from the Institute of Travel Agents and an MCC from Cruise Lines International. She's a member of the American Society of Travel Agents, chapter director of the National Association of Career Agents in Connecticut, and past vice president of the African Promotion and Tourism in Africa, and past board member of the Business Networking International, and past president of the Norwalk Rotary Club. Eugenia, from a friend of ours, when he knew that Eugenia was going to be on here, said that she is a force of nature, and she certainly is a force to be reckoned with. Besides Man's Travel, which she founded, she runs the
Sweet Mother.
Yeah, Sweet Mother. Thank you, Eugenia. Sweet Mother Foundation, which helps recognize women who have made a significant contribution to society but are not well known outside their own spheres. So she's introducing them, and that also goes to support a school in Africa. So without further ado, let's invite Eugenia to begin our meeting. And thank you, Eugenia. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Jim, for organizing this. It's so important at this very critical time that people are really concerned about travel and very worried about in fact, boarding the next cruise ship. So I thought it's very important for me to have this presentation, at least to put people's mind at ease. And it's entitled Travel in the New Normal. So the new normal, following a collaboration between medical experts and a broad array of businesses and organizations, the United States travel industry submitted to the White House and governors document containing detailed guidance for travel-related businesses to help keep their customers and employees safe as the country emerges from the COVID-19. And that is what is called travel in the new normal. What they did was, this document describes the measures the travel industry will follow to reduce the risk of COVID-19 and help to communicate across each and every step of a traveler's journey. This is a very important thing for everybody who is interested in travel to know. The goal is to allow travel to safely resume as states and municipalities relax physical distancing guidance. Now, what is all this about? We want political leaders and the public alike to see that our industry is setting a very high standard for reducing the risk of the coronavirus in our businesses, and that the practices in place to achieve that standard are consistent through every phase of the travel experience. As travel reopens, travelers need the confidence that safety measures are in place from their departure to their return home. So you see how important and how vital it is for me to give you this update. The travel industry has been hit especially hard by the public health crisis. The industry is estimated to have lost 8 million jobs as of the 1st of May. And the travel-related economic impact of coronavirus is projected to be 9 times worse than 9/11. So beyond the well-being of employees and our guests, the second objective of the travel in the new normal guidance is to restore consumers' confidence in the travel process, in the hope that travel demand will rebound quickly and the industry can help power a robust economic and jobs recovery. So here are a few of the services and amenities that travelers can get from their travel advisors at this very critical time. Can you show the next?
Yes.
Yeah. No, again, the next one, after that. After that. Right. So 1, travel advisors provide 24/7 emergency service. You can be sure that if you took time to contact your travel advisor, that things will be done properly for you. And that is one of the things that really distinguishes a travel professional from the internet. Whether it's a flight cancellation, problems at a hotel, unexpected illness, a travel professional can quickly jump in and assess the situation and then navigate all the roadblocks to find a solution. And that has never been more apparent than during the current crisis. Most of the people who got stuck somewhere else were brought home. Most of them came home. Those who went on the internet are still stuck and they don't know how to get home. But those who use a travel advisor, they are back home. So we have had countless stories from our members and advisors everywhere who worked their magic to help get travelers home safely and are continuing to work with clients to navigate what has become an incredibly complicated and ever-changing series of policies for refunds, cancellations, or rebooking for future travel. Number 2, we can save you time. People think they need to spend hours upon hours researching destinations, deals, hotels, sightseeing, Instagram, Facebook, ask friends who have been, travel forums, and on and on. It takes a professional a fraction of that time to learn about a client's needs and interests. Number 3, we can save you money. People think they need, we also know seasonal trends, price fluctuations, popularity circles, and are fully aware of the aggregated airfare data. More importantly, we also know when there are exceptions because we are human with practical experience and better decision makers. I can make a judgment for a client and advise them of the deal time to buy their ticket at the best fare, but without risking what it will go up even more. Managing risk is part of what we do. In short, a human with specific expertise is getting to make a better judgment than a computer. Please listen to this. In short, a human with specific expertise, and that's us, who is going to make a better judgment than a computer. And number 4, we have access. One thing a travel advisor can offer that you don't really have the ability to do yourself is in their relationship with locally based experts who are knowledgeable about the hottest new restaurants, off the beaten path, sites, and unique cultural opportunities. I have 1 or 2 of my clients who have just come from South Africa. And if I was not able to, on this presentation, if I was not able to have developed a relationship with my companies that are actually right there on the ground to organize everything for them, they would have encountered a lot of problems. And I think they could testify to the fact that everything went smoothly for them. So we have access. Number two, we have connections. Number five, we have connections. We know the right people who can do amazing things for you at a hotel. Because we have long-standing relationships with hotels around the world, we can often arrange for a free breakfast, upgrade you, or at least ensuring you are in one of the best rooms in the category you paid for. And added to that, we have free perks and amenities. So what's next slide?
Yes, and can you talk a little bit about safety and what the maybe you can do that later, but what the industry is doing to be sure that we're safe?
Yeah, I'm getting to that because I just wanted people to know what travel advisors can do for them at this time. And the next thing is that half of Americans plan to rebook travel. And so what do we have in place? Now, the next thing is we have what they call welcome to the hands-free feature. A digital fingerprint for each guest ensures that all transactions and interactions are enabled even before he or she arrives at the hotel you're going at. Hotels have actually suffered a big loss this time. And it is no secret that the hotel industry is in deep trouble because of COVID-19. And even with government grants and subsidies to cushion the effects of travel bans, shelter-in-place orders, it is unclear what the future will bring. So what are they doing? But the one thing that everyone knows is that once things get back to normal, they will still be pretty far from what we have always thought of as normal. So that's why we're talking about the new normal. And for the next 18 months to 2 years, it is likely that we would have actually got everything ongoing. But what we are doing right now is, while we still don't know everything there is to know about COVID-19, what we do know is that it is a lot easier to spread anything contagious. Now, what does that mean? It means that even seemingly innocuous physical contact can have serious consequences. It is not just about social distancing, it's about reducing the number of times that people touch common surfaces. And if you really think about it, hotels have a lot of those touch points. What if there was a way to eliminate those experiences and replace them with hands-free ones that are not only safer, but are actually more convenient for guests? So let's start with check-in. The old normal involved at least 8 different moments where guests at hotel staff had to touch an object that other people had recently touched. When people park their cars, they get a paper ticket from a machine, or they hand their key to a valet, and then hopefully give the valet a tip. Then they push the door open or hand the doorman some money for doing it for them. Guests then walk to the front desk, where they give the clerk a credit card, sign their names, and receive a key. Then it is off to the elevator, where guests push the up button to get into the lift and then select their floor. Finally, the guest pulls out the key to open the door to their room. That's 9 or 10 different physical touch points, even before turning on the lights and flipping on the TV to catch yet another CSI marathon. So keeping common areas clean is critical, of course, but it doesn't solve the problem. Credit cards can carry viruses, so can elevator buttons, and cash, and car keys, and room keys, and door handles. There has to be a better way to let guests move freely in hotels without jeopardizing their health, their well-being, and the well-being of other guests, and the health of hotel staff. The solution is a full hands-off experience from the moment that guests pull up to the front door until they enter their rooms. The key to doing this is to create a digital fingerprint for each guest so that all transactions and interactions are enabled even before people arrive. This involves creating a virtual wallet tied to a facial recognition app. The latest advancements in facial recognition make this method highly secure, using 3D technology to identify people in instances where there is no light, extremely bright light, or if their faces are obscured with masks. Guests simply take a photo of themselves on their phone or laptop, associate it with a credit card and a form of ID, and their vehicle information and other relevant data, and they're all set. From that point on, everything else is taken care of. Isn't this amazing in the new normal? So when guests pull up to the hotel, their license plates are already registered. That eliminates the need for physical tickets. They simply drive in, and a camera tied up to an optical character recognition system automatically lets them in. Guests then go to a kiosk and have their photos taken. This maps to the picture in their profiles and automates the entire check-in process. And what about keys? The good news is that there are no keys. Guests walk to the elevators and another camera verifies them and knows which floor to go to. And once they get to their room, a camera-enabled lock verifies their identity and automatically opens the door. That is 10 physical touches reduced to 0. 10 physical touches reduced to 0. And in an era of hypervigilance because of COVID-19, that translates directly to increase guest confidence and increase occupancy rates. The best part is that the technology to do every bit of this already exists. So it's not in the making. It's already there, ready to use. And not just in a lab or in a beta test. Every single step listed above can be done using tools that have been deployed in the real world for years. There are 0 technical barriers to make this a reality. All it takes is a recognition that the old normal is suddenly not good enough for what we need to keep everyone safe, secure, and confident in hotels' ability to protect people from illnesses. So, not only the hotels are going to use this system, the cruise ships are going to use this system. So you can be sure you can take your next cruise if you love cruising, and you are not going to encounter any of the old normal anymore. And you will not be afraid to board a cruise ship thinking that I'm going to be in there with people with COVID-19. No, that's the old way of doing things. This is the new normal. And the World Travel and Tourism Council says travel is likely to return first in the domestic market in the form of staycations. People are talking about, oh, I'm afraid to take international flights. And now what is going to happen in international flight, there is not going to, no flight, you will encounter, in no flight will you encounter a middle seat anymore. So there are no middle seats. They are going to eliminate that. And you can comfortably fly sitting next to someone who is not close to you. And I think you will be actually having that sort of social distances, which is like, I think it's six miles or something like that, to distance yourself from the next person you're sitting next to. So Mass Travel, we have put together a series of group travel and individual travel, both locally and internationally. And I have some slides just to awake your memory of places that you would like to go. There's a slide going to Alaska, which is a very, very popular site. And we have not heard of COVID-19 in Alaska. And the cruise ships have started selling. In fact, we heard that they are fully booked for next year. And with this method in place, you are not going to encounter any form of virus in those ships. This is one thing I just want to make sure that you understand. I could see that the next thing is that if you plan to travel in the future, play it month by month. If you already have something planned for the summer, hold off on canceling until you get more information. And do not cancel, postpone, because everyone is trying to implement these measures to make sure you are safe. We have some short videos to give you some ideas of future travel to our niche markets, doing African safaris, cruises, and to wonderful, unique destinations. Could you show that again? That is what the digital fingerprints will, yeah. That's your hands-free future travel, that you will not be able to touch anything or be in contact with anybody, and you are safe. Can you show the next slide? And that's the digital fingerprint. So do you have any questions?
I'm not amazed. I'm happy to see that these new things are coming in and that they've been around. That's very comforting that we don't have to do any new technology to make all this happen, Eugenia.
Yes, they've already been there, and they are not in a manufacturing lab. It's there, and they're going to implement these measures.
As we get back to opening the country, what do you think is going to be happening with business travel? Zoom, like we're using now, seems to be getting very popular. I don't know if it's going to replace face-to-face, but where do you see us going in terms of meeting for business? And is Zoom going to be the new normal for that too, or do we going to need?
I think Zoom is going to be the new normal, but also I am the one who is a firm believer in face-to-face. So I hope that the face-to-face does not go away. And but Zooming seems to be the new normal. I pray that it does not replace face-to-face, because face-to-face contact is very good for business.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a combination though. We're going to have more Zoom meetings, but when it comes right down to getting to business, it's going to be face-to-face, I'm sure. But it'll be less. Anyway, yeah. So the airlines are making accommodations.
The airlines are going to remove the middle seat. So when you're flying, there is nobody in the middle.
Okay.
I think it's a very, very important move. And of course,
They're going to be able to make money. I mean, they've always tried to cram you in so they start making money, and you start removing middle seats. That's
they, they,
pressure on the price ticket.
that's the other thing that we are discussing, that if they remove those seats, they are losing.
Yeah.
And is this going to increase the price of airline tickets? We hope not. But it's a safer way to do it until maybe they find the vaccine for COVID. Because the amount of people that have been affected, over 1 million, and 70,000 people are dead, it's very scary.
Yeah.
And so if they have to continue their business, then they have to take measures that will satisfy people and make people confident to travel. Like, you know, the hands-free future, which I love. So you're not in touch with anybody, you're not touching anything, you just go, you know, it's just a digital recognition of your face.
But I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take the middle seat out, but what about the rows that have only two seats?
Well, I don't know how they're going to rectify that, but maybe there'll be a way in which it could be done so that nobody is sitting that very close to your next neighbor. And also every airline hostess, pilots, or each and every one of them are going to wear gloves and masks.
Mm.
So they've even gone further with that. And then before boarding the flight, from check-in, your temperature will be taken before you board the flight. So all those.
Will they be handing out face masks and gloves to everyone?
Well, I don't know. I think Delta, we had that Delta, American Airlines, and JetBlue, they have put in policies that they would require their guests to wear face masks. But I think it's going to be a temporary thing until some measures, until maybe they find the vaccine. But for now, to enable them to resume business as normal, they have to put all these things in place.
Yeah, the industry is going to have to rebuild confidence and safety so that people do feel safe, and it'll be nice to have a little more room on an airplane. So.
Well, as I said, half of Americans plan to rebook, and according to the statistics, while almost 80% of United States consumers surveyed by the University of Florida, 78% had canceled a trip as a result, but 56% have already booked for next year. So people are planning to get on those cruise ships and to get on the planes, but therefore they are taking stringent measures to make sure that when you travel, you are safe. In fact, what I forgot to mention, there will be prepackaged food and snacks. So you are not actually coming in contact with the airline hostess anymore. By the time you get to your seat, you have your prepackaged meal there for you. And those buffet tables at sea, I think they will disappear. And they will definitely take nasal swab and maybe demand that people come in with health certificate, who knows? But all these are going to be put in place. Is there any more questions? You have to unmute yourself, Winsome. You have to unmute yourself. Or can you unmute her?
Yeah, I don't, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading an article yesterday which basically said that Royal Caribbean in Celebrity
Mhm.
regardless of your age, if you have any underlying issues, and they named the underlying issues,
Mhm.
you will have to get your travel authorized by your doctor. And also, if you're 70 and over, you won't be able to cruise on those 2 lines without having doctor's authorizations, you know, stating that you're healthy. Did you read that?
No, in fact, I had a meeting with my Royal Caribbean business development manager just 2 days ago. And I wanted to get some more information since I knew I was going to do this presentation. And she told me that, I don't know, you said you read that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she told me that the management, they have gone out on a cruise ship for 2 days to sort of look at all the different things that they are going to implement in the new normal. So maybe that came out yesterday, but as far as I know, as of Monday, when I spoke to my business development manager, she did not tell me anything like of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think that
It was just Celebrity and Royal Caribbean. Carnival had not participated in that.
In fact, I have my business development manager for Carnival who's going to do a webinar for my chapter. And what they sent me, there's nothing like that there. I would be surprised if they will implement such measures, because most of the people who travel and who have money to take these trips are over 60, 70. Most of those are people within that age group. So they will be losing a lot of money if they took those.
I guess they're trying to pass on the liability to us as travelers versus them being liable in case you get sick on board, you know, from if we were to have another pandemic like what we're going through now.
Well,
Yeah,
so
that may
maybe
be.
these measures are just temporary until they find a way to cure this virus. And they have lost quite a lot of money, and they don't want to just leave their cruise ships sitting there. So maybe they're taking these measures as a temporary thing until something could be done. But they are going to implement this hands-free feature.
Yeah.
So I don't see how people are going to get infected.